Hi BookTube, I'm here today to do my August TBR. I know on Fridays I normally film my Friday Reads video, what I'm going to read over the weekend, but since I haven't filmed my August, what I'm going to be reading in the month of August, I thought now would be the perfect time for that. And like I have been for June and July, this month as well, I'm going to be participating in the romance book bingo. And towards the end of the month, I will show you like all of the different books I picked up for the romance book bingo and show you like my little chart of all the I'm going to fill up a board, just one board. I'm not going to go crazy because I think there's like 80 prompts, 100 prompts, and so I chose 25. So yeah, these are the ones I'm reading for that. Debbie Macomber's Thursdays at 8, and this is more of a women's contemporary. And this is A Time to Think About Lives Lived, Choices Made, A Time for Friends. And this is about, let's see, there's 4 group of friends, and they meet over food and coffee, and they talk about their lives. And yeah, I'm sure it's all, all about their friendships and their relationships, and how their the friendships can help them in their, their own personal lives. And then I have, looks like a Western. It's Rustler's Moon by Jodie Thomas. And I read the first book in the series, and that was Ransom Canyon. And so this one is the second book in the series. And I love these covers. They're very, I don't know, it's very fitting for summer. And this is on a dirt road marked by haunting secrets. 3 strangers caught at life's crossroads must decide what to sacrifice to protect their own agendas and what they're each willing to risk for love. And what I like about this author, through my exploration of all the different romance authors through this challenge, is that she doesn't just focus on one relationship. It's like kind of like it's a multi-perspective book. You're following many different characters, and they're not all about romance. It's like kind of like you get a feel for the life of the town through like young and old eyes. Let's see. And then he's doing that romance, and then I have Susan Mallory's California Girls, and this also looks like a really good summer read just by the cover alone. And this says, California sunshine's not quite so bright for 3 sisters who get dumped in the same week. And this is along the lines with the Debbie Macomber book. I'm sure it's going to be focusing on these 3 sisters instead of friends. But, sisters can be friends as well. And it's all about, their breakups. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of drama that's going to ensue. And then I'm going to be reading Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. And this I'm reading for Sarah, who's hosting the summer romance book bingo. She's also doing a read-along of Outlander. And that was started in July, but, now it's not. She's splitting this whole book up into 2 months. And then if you want to continue on, which hoping I'll like this book and I'll be able to continue on, each book is going to be spread out over 2 months. So, it's like 5 chapters a week, something like that. And so it's easy to, read along at your own pace. And so yeah, I've never seen the TV show. I know nothing about the book except it's a historical fiction. So yeah, I'm excited to dive into this one. And then I have 2 physical books that I want to read that aren't romance. This one is a cozy mystery, Lending a Paw. This one I just talked about in a couple of these also I talked about in my book haul, because like I mentioned before, I'm going to be moving, so I do want to get through as many books as I can that I own physically. So this is Lending a Paw. It's the first in a new series by Lori Cass. And this one, it just looks so cute. Look at that cat. I'm sure he wants to go eat that butterfly. See, he's staring at that butterfly right there. And this is, with the help of her rescue cat, Edie, librarian Minnie Hamilton is driving a bookmobile based in the resort town of Chilton, Michigan. But she'd better keep both hands on the wheel because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And yeah, this sounds like the cat is going to help her, solve some mysteries. And so yeah, this is going to be a really nice mystery. And then I have One Day at Teton Marsh by Sally Carragher. And I just love this author. Here's a picture of the author here. And this is all about different animals. Teton Marsh in the perspective of many different animals. So there's a moose, there's his little otter here, there's some birds, there's another bird up here. And so it's like, so you get this one, she really focuses on like one like plot of land. And you get it from like a bird's eye view, from in the water, that kind of thing. So it's a really nice way of really get a feel for not just the land, but the people. The people who live there as well. So yeah, this will be really nice. I think it's this. This is illustrated. So it's like black and white drawings. Is there any more? I'll show you another one. So yeah, this is a really nice, like really fast-paced read. And then the ebooks that I'm going to be reading. Sorry if you hear this like chomping noise. My dog, I think there's a fly in here, and so he's like biting the air trying to get it. So if you hear that, that's what it is. And so for my ebooks, this is one I saw, I think, on Steve Donahue's channel. To the New Owners, a Martha's Vineyard memoir by Madeline Blaze. And this sounds like really perfect for summer. And this is in the 1970s. Madeline's in-laws purchased a vacation house on Martha's Vineyard for the exorbitant sum of $80,000, 2.2 miles down a poorly marked one-lane dirt road. The house was better termed a shack. It had no electricity, no modern plumbing, the roof leaked, and mice had invaded the walls. It was perfect. And that doesn't really sound like, Martha's Vineyard that we think of today. I've never been there, but when I think of Martha's Vineyard, I don't think of like shack housing. I think of, really expensive, like $1 million vacation homes for like the uber rich. And so this it'd be like a nice, I don't know, it kind of brings back people who were living during the 60s, 70s, 80s when this was the lifestyle of Martha's Vineyard. So yeah, this sounds to me really good for the summer. And then going from there, another nonfiction I'm reading is I think I also saw this on Steve Donahue's July TBR, like it's like he recommends books for all of us to read. I think I saw this on his channel as well. It's Shadowlands, Fear and Freedom at the Oregon Standoff by Anthony McCain. And I just finished reading Dreamland. It's all about California, and this is the California of the West, how we have a complete tug of war with the land and with the limited resources of water and things like that. And so this is like, I'm going up a state to Oregon, and this is all about a movement that was, it says, in 2016, a group of armed, divinely inspired right-wing protesters led by Ammon Bundy occupied the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in the high desert of eastern Oregon. Encamped in the Shadowlands of the Republic, insisting that the federal government had no right to own public land, the occupiers were seen by a divided country as either dangerous extremists dressed up as cowboys or as heroes insisting on restoring the rule of the Constitution. From the occupation's beginnings to the trials of the occupiers in federal court in downtown Portland and their tumultuous aftermath, Shadowlands is the resonant, multifaceted story of one of the most dramatic flashpoints in the year that gave us Donald Trump. And so yeah, this is going to include Ammon Bundy's protests, and then it says it's going to have perspectives of the Native American tribal leaders, public land ranchers, militia members, environmentalists, federal defense attorneys, and Black Lives Matter activists. So I'm hoping to get like a well-rounded perspective on what was happening. And then another nonfiction, same kind of cover. So this is like dark blue cover. This is Anointed with Oil: How Christianity and Crude Made Modern America by Darren Dachuk. It's a very interesting cover. And again, it's like that dark blue, like the other one's like at nighttime. And this says, a groundbreaking new history of the United States, showing how Christian faith and the pursuit of petroleum fueled America's rise to global power and shaped today's political clashes. It says, ranging from the Civil War to the present, from West Texas to Saudi Arabia to Alberta tar sands, and from oil patch boomtowns to the White House. This is a sweeping magisterial book that transforms how we understand our nation's history. And so this is like a really interesting take on history, because there's history books on the beginning of America to current days, things like that. And so this is like in the mindset of oil, how we have used it and how it's very political. It's very tied with, money and government and politics and different countries. And so my dog is just like chomping away over here. I'll be quiet so I can hear him. Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't want my audio picks up. But he's just like you can hear his teeth clacking. So yeah, this will be a very interesting read. And then this one is another blue cover. I don't know what's up with these dark blue covers, but this is Emperors of the Deep: Sharks, the ocean's most mysterious, most misunderstood, and most important guardians. And this is by William McKeever. And yeah, this I read a book on black bears in July, and so and I read a book about a raccoon. And so this month I'm reading a book focused on sharks, which I don't think I've read any book solely focused on sharks. So yeah, this is gonna be good. It says here's a couple of details about sharks that you might not know, and this is in the description of the books. Sharks are 50 million years older than trees. Sharks have survived 5 extinction level events, including the one that killed off the dinosaurs. Sharks have electroreception, a sixth sense that lets them pick up on electric fields generated by living things. Sharks can dive 4,000 feet below the surface. Sharks account for only 6 human fatalities per year, while humans kill 100 million sharks per year. And I've read it. The only thing I know about sharks, no, but one of the things I've heard about sharks is how people like cut off their fin, like their the famous fin that you see in the water. You know, they cut that off to use in Asia, and then they just throw the shark back in the water, and so they die. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all about how humans kill 100 million sharks per year. It says McKeever goes back through time to probe the shark's prehistoric secrets and how it has become the world's most feared and most misunderstood predator, and takes us on a pulse-pounding tour around the world and deep under the water's surface, from the frigid waters of the Arctic Circle to the coral reefs of the tropical Central Pacific. And so yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting to read about. I know there's I don't have TV cable, but I know I used to watch, I think it was this Discovery Channel. They had Shark Week, where there's all these different TV episodes and TV shows and movies, documentaries on sharks. I think it was Discovery. Yeah, that was interesting to watch as well. So yeah, this is a book I'm going to read about it. And then 2 more nonfiction, because I had my fiction with the romance books, and now on the nonfiction side is The British Are Coming: The War for America, Lexington to Princeton, by Rick Atkinson. And this he wrote a trilogy on World War II, and those have been on my to be read list for a long time. It's funny enough, instead of getting to that trilogy first, I'm going to be picking up this book by him, and this is all about it's his new trilogy on the Revolutionary War. And so yeah, I know he's a really good writer. I'm just taking other people's word for it because like I said, I haven't read him yet. But yeah, this has been on my radar, and I'm so happy it came through my library. So I'll be getting to it this month. And then the last book I'm going to be talking about is I think this might have been my June TBR, but just kind of got pushed off a bit. And this is Out of the Shadows by Walt Odets, reimagining gay men's lives. And he is a psychologist or psychiatrist. He's a clinical psychologist. And he works in a private practice, and he works with gay men. And this says, let's see, though it is drawn from decades of private practice, activism, and life in the gay community, Odet's work achieves remarkable universality. At its core, Out of the Shadows is driven by his belief that it is time that we act based on who we are and not who others are or who they would want us to be. We, particularly the young, must construct our own paths through our life. Out of the Shadows is a necessary, impassioned argument for how and why we must all take hold of our own futures. And this is a moving exploration of how I cannot talk. A moving exploration of how gay men construct their identities, fight to be themselves, and live authentically. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. I've had a really long week. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's the last book that I'm talking about before I mix any more of my words. But yeah, these I'm hoping to have a really good August. In July, I read 26 books. And the last couple of weeks of July, I decided to focus on reading just one book at a time, because at the beginning I was reading so many different books for different read-alongs and everything, and I was just getting overwhelmed. I think it was up to 6 books at a time, and it was just stressing me out. I feel like I wasn't accomplishing anything, even though I was putting hours into reading. And so I'm shifting it up a bit. And I really like it how I'm just focusing on one book at a time, plus an audio book to listen to at work and on walks. And so really 2 books at a time. But yeah, I think that's a lot more manageable. And I hope I'll see how maybe I'll change the pace of my reading. Maybe I can get more books in, maybe less. I don't know. But yeah, I'll let you know. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks, BookTube.